systems they have.
I was just going to say, unless you have a magneto-levitron train you can jump on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's maybe max 20 minutes.
You know, and we're paying for this with our tax dollars, and I want to ride in the thing, you know?
Yeah.
We're paying for this.
You know, this is all brand new again. It's all starting again, and there will be a lot more information because we're going to go to Dulce. I don't know why I'm led to do this, but I'm led to go there for the purpose that I want to take a couple of people with me. One person that would film. I know all this was done in the 80s, but there's a resurgence. There's a need to do it again because there's a lot of new activity.
Hang on a second. Steve, can you turn him up? I can hardly hear Zeph. Can you crank him up a little bit? Thanks.
You're coming through.
I'm coming. Yeah, you know, 'cause I scream. I talk loud when I talk.
Yeah. Okay,
you know,
I can talk louder.
And then I get these men that come online and I can barely hear. It's like, wow.
Is that better, Sherry? Is that better?
Yeah. A little bit better, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's another place that's up as you're going up toward Dulce, but when you go by a little town called Taos, New Mexico.
Taos, I've heard of that. That's that's another major hub.
Okay, there's a little echo now on mine for the producer. There's a little echo, slight echo there for the engineer. Okay. And as we're tweaking it. Anyway, they built an underground base there called Area 54. Area 54, which is just outside Taos, New Mexico. Then as you go further on that corridor, you come up to Dulce, which is just a gas station. I was just there a year and a half ago. It's a gas station and a store. That's it. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. It's like a little motel, maybe maybe a 6-bed motel or something.
You blink and you go through it. It's
almost like my town.
Yeah, but you go 2.5 miles from there. There's the Archuleta Mesa. So in New Mexico we have mesas. We don't really have we have some mountains, but mainly mesas.
Well, what's the difference between a mesa and a mountain?
Well, a mesa, just picture a shelf under the ocean that would be flat, you know, on top. And see, all of New Mexico was underwater at one time, and then with the cataclysm of the Earth of a pole flip, it pushed up 7,000 feet, and Taos, I think, is up toward 8,000 feet. So imagine what was on the bottom of the sea now suddenly being 7,000 feet above sea level.
Oh, okay.
That's the kind of cataclysm. And when you're talking, you know, pole shifts and Planet X and things like that, you're talking some major death.
Yeah.
And when you talk about serving the Most High God, well, the thing we have to get over is our fear of death. Because we talk about this all the time, that, you know, the people that are serving the Lord, that are getting the truth out, do risk death. But what would you rather do? Would you rather live there shuddering in fear and then have to account for yourself and say, well, I could have done a lot more, but I didn't because I was afraid?
Yeah, I mean, like, what did you do for me? Well, I tried to get your prophets and watchmen to shut up and stop working, but they wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want to be in someone's shoes like that.
Well, you know, there is an accountability factor. We do have to take responsibility for our lives. And it's not enough to just have your eyes open. There's a lot of people out there like you and others who are exposing the truth daily from various angles of this thing. Because remember, when you're looking at the alien question and the military-industrial complex question, then you're looking at the geopolitical question, then you're looking at the, you know, outright Satanist connection to all this, then you're looking at you know, any number of things. It's all one big web, one big network. It's all interconnected.
The big octopus.
It's really, it really is a big Goliath to us being, and we can either be David or we can have Goliath just crush us, you know?
Yeah.
And, but what I found is that one person can make a difference, because ultimately there is a little trick about reality, a little way of looking at it, that what is within you, first of all, the Bible says what's within you is greater than what's in the world. But further than that, reality is subjective, I believe. That is, whatever your soul needs to get out of here, to emancipate, that's the kind of thing that you're going to get. Most people need to be broken. So they're going to get persecution in order to be broken. There's a great opportunity to step up. Most people are afraid, and so they get more and more things that make them more afraid until they finally get broken of their fear, you see. Sometimes when you need to be broken of something, you get more of that uncomfortable thing that happens to you until you finally give it up. And, you know, a lot of people, it's fear. Well, a lot of people have a fear of death. Well, they have a near-death experience. What happens to them? They become fearless. They get up from that near-death experience, and they are on their way. They're going to make up for lost time. A lot of this is fear, Sherry.
Yep.
You know?
I think so, too. They're laying over. They're playing dead. They're afraid to confront the Goliath.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's Goliaths everywhere, and one of them is standing there in the gap if they start intimidating you, which they do. They tap the phones. They try to sit outside your house. They buzz you with helicopters. And
you know, that's much cheaper than sending a black Huey. It's just sending somebody outside your house in a car. I mean, why send a military helicopter that's fully loaded to a child's football game to circle the field just to, you know, what point are they getting across?
Well, it's obviously, you know, this. You see where you're going right now with the UFO question and exposing this very big reality. And the problem is, by exposing it, you're breaking it, insofar as the humans are concerned. Because humans are being harvested and used as cattle, used as food, used for DNA, used for spiritual gifts. Satan, basically, when you decide to serve Satan, what does Satan do? You're initiated into it. They hold your soul captive, as it says in Ezekiel 13, beginning at verse 17. Your soul is held captive. It's held captive, and they use it for power. In exchange, you're given what? You're given a little life. Right, you can go to the ball game and be on the 50-yard line. If you're really good at playing the game, you get to ride in a limo. Maybe you can be John Travolta, you know. But basically, it's all fake. It's all provided. So it's like the Wizard of Oz. It's all fake. And so when you finally figure that out, that it's fake, that the best you could do working the world's way is to be given some lousy perks. It's not worth what you sold your soul for.
Right.
And then when you get older, because, you know, Satanism's all based on age, right? And it's all kind of based on sexual prowess, if you will. Well, when that starts, that's why they sell so much Viagra. But when that starts going and when you start withering, you know, they don't want you. And all that power you thought you had.
Yeah.
And that big dynasty you were going to build, out the window. And then, I guess, oh well, not everybody becomes a rock star. You know, not everybody becomes a CEO of a corporation. Not everybody is
you
successful.
Get your 15 minutes of fame and wealth. And then when you can't be usable anymore, they just kick you to the curb.
When they've used you up, it's, you know, Satanism is based on maximum utility of resources. It's very impersonal. It is based on the idea that you harvest the human. You harvest the resource. When the resource is harvested, for example, if somebody sells out very easily for not much, you know, why pay them anymore?
Yeah.
Right? You harvested them. They sold out cheap. That's it.
You bring somebody else up in their place.
Their place is they're passed up. They're stuck right where they are because, well, you know, that's their problem. I'm very happy not to have that kind of problem because I can tell you, you know, I was very, you know, rebellious as a child and rebellious through life. I saw through all this at a very early age, and I just thought, I still don't really understand. I guess it's fear that gets people to go that way because they're afraid of being alone, they're afraid of not having money, they're afraid of not being part of things, they're afraid of missing out, and they don't want their place taken by somebody else, so they toe the line.
Now, what about all these people? Let's say, now we know out at Fort Carson in Colorado, that is where they recruit the Delta Force members that become the security members of these underground alien and human bases. And they look for orphans, they look for people that don't have family connections.
Right, or they stage I was talking to someone today that's, you know, actually I'm looking around to see if I'm going to be followed now because he was saying some things about his tenure at NASA. And about this whole thing, about the abduction problem.